What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives here with you again, taking a look at another new knife for 2016, the Kershaw Grid. When Kershaw released their 2016 lineup, this was one of the ones I was most excited about. Had some really good vibes coming off of it. Kind of felt tactical, nice and sleek, and it was a larger folder. And I don't have a lot of those, and this is definitely that. And it's let me down a little bit because when the fatback came, it came with the grid. I ordered them at the same time, and I absolutely love this knife. It has not let me down, and it's just an awesome blade. And the grid is not going to get as much pocket time as I thought it might have. Now, Kershaw's releasing their 2016 knives in spurts, so this is one of the first they've come out with so far. So I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this, so I'm hoping this review will give you guys some indication of whether or not to purchase it. So as usual, you guys will get some specs. I'll talk about what I like about the knife, some of the things I don't, and maybe you guys will agree. The blade length is 3.7 inches long, so a bigger blade for sure. A 4.5 inch close length, so it makes up a good sized handle, and then an 8.4 overall length. And then the weight is 4.8 ounces, so when I heard that, I was like, man, that's pretty heavy. And then I totally forgot how large this knife was. And for its size, I think 4.8 ounces is perfect. It's actually where it should be, maybe even on the lighter side. Because I have some knives that are definitely smaller in dimension than this, that weigh, 6+ ounces. So 4.8 ounces is definitely manageable for this size. Now, if we move to the blade, it is made out of 8CR13 MOV, good Chinese budget steel, as we've discussed before. It is black oxide coated, so kind of got a less reflective, blacked out tactical look. And then it has a high hollow grind coming through here, and then kind of a swedge taken out on top, some jimping on the top of the blade, and on kind of the back part of the tang. My main issue with this knife is the blade shape. Now, they've marketed this knife as a tactical folder, something, with a lot of reach, obviously, because it's long, got a lot of penetrating power. And they left the tip, acute but robust, where it has some power behind it. So a good design as far as that goes, but I've been using the knife as an everyday carry knife and maybe not as a last-ditch just self-defense knife. And I don't find this blade shape very utilitarian at all. There's very little belly. The tip has kind of got a reverse tonso thing going on. I really don't like it, guys. I mean, tell me what you think if you have the knife or even looking at it, or if you have a knife with a similar blade, if I'm just wrong. But I mean, even this fatback with a strict spear point seems to have a little bit more belly and a little bit more usable edge than that grid. It's so upsweeping that I just find it unusable for a lot of tasks unless I'm kind of holding it at an angle to get into whatever I'm cutting, boxes, whatever. But that being said, there's some definite winning features in that speed safe. I mean, if your Kershaw's got speed safe, there's something addictive about that sound and how fast it comes out, and it always locks up. Now, this one's deployed by either the flipper or the ambidextrous thumb studs, one on either side, and they both work equally well. And these thumb studs are rather small for this knife, but they work pretty well. You can get the knife out really quick. Now, if we move to the handle, it is stainless steel. It is a frame lock, and it has that titanium carbonitride coating that we've seen on knives like the original Cryo, Cryo 2, and maybe the Kershaw Nura series. Those have that same kind of gray coloration. And it does look very good with that blacked out blade, that pivot, pocket clip, and black hardware. So very good colors aesthetically. And then that pivot is kind of stylized. It's kind of concave, if you guys can see that. So there's some cool aspects to this knife for sure. Now, my favorite feature definitely is the thinness of the handle and the blade itself. The thing, I mean, it's got to be 0.35, 0.4 inches. It's definitely less than half an inch, and it's just disappears in your pocket, which is crazy because this is a large folder. I mean, you carry that in your pocket, and it feels like you're carrying, maybe a little pocket knife, something a lot smaller than this thing. And that brings us to the pocket clip, which is one positionable. Luckily enough, it is tip up right hand carry where I like to carry my knives. But it's that new kind of design that Kershaw came out with for 2016. and it loops over. It's fairly deep carry. I mean, you're going to get a little bit sticking out of your pocket, but not a ton. It's going to be right about there. And I like the design of the pocket clip, but mine came pretty loose. As you can see there, that's a little bit scary. It slides into your pocket and out fairly nice, but I mean, if you guys are wearing some thinner, pants or anything, this might slide right out due to its steel handle that doesn't have any grip on it. Which is another quarrel for me for this knife, that a tactical folder might require some grip. Now this finger, guard made by that flipper does definitely aid in your grip, but this thing is very sleek and slippery for sure. And that pocket clip kind of retention in your pocket does bother me a little bit. It's not easily fixed. Contrast a negative with a positive, this frame lock locks up really well. Hits right where you want to, not over travel, but you can kind of push it out too far. There's no lock bar stabilizer or anything on this side to make sure you don't extend that frame lock out too far. But that's my look at the 2016 Kershaw Grid, guys. I've been carrying it. I have used it. I don't think it's going to get a lot of pocket time from me, like I said. I don't think it's a home run or anything for him. I think there's a couple of design flaws. But it is definitely a hard use folder. I mean, a solid steel frame lock with this large of a blade will be able to get a lot of work done. Now this does come in at around 30 bucks. I mean, I'm seeing it all over the place around 31. So not a bad deal. MSRP's closer to 50, I think. And there's not a whole lot that stands out to me for this knife. So this is going to be one of those ones that it might get lost in my little collection of knives. But that is going to never happen to this Kershaw Fatback. So if you guys are looking at picking up a new Kershaw, I would suggest the Fatback over the Grid unless you really like this coloration and this size. This is a little bit bigger than the Fatback. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Go follow my Instagram account, and thanks.